Something changed in you, and you didn't even notice when it started. At some point, you stopped feeling like yourself around people, not because you became someone else, but because you started adjusting. Every conversation feels slightly off. Every reaction feels calculated. You say the right things. You respond at the right time. You even sound like yourself, but something about it doesn't feel real. It's subtle, almost invisible, until you catch yourself in the middle of a conversation and realize you're not just talking, you're watching yourself talk. You walk into a room, and before you even think about it, your tone shifts, your posture adjusts, your energy changes. You match the environment, you match the person, you match what feels acceptable. And the strangest part, it happens automatically. You don't decide to do it, you just do, and then it hits you. You're not fully there. You're observing, monitoring, editing yourself in real time, like you're playing a role you've practiced for too long. And you can't tell where the role ends and where you begin. It doesn't feel like lying, but it doesn't feel real either. It feels fake, disconnected, performed. But here's the part that matters. This isn't manipulation. This isn't weakness. And this isn't some kind of personality flaw. This is something your mind built. And once you understand why this started, you'll realize you didn't choose it. If you've ever felt like this, like you're there, but not really you, comment, "I feel this." I want to see how many people are silently living this without ever saying it out loud. This didn't happen randomly, even if it feels like it did. This wasn't a sudden shift. It didn't come from one moment, one event, or one decision. It was built. Slowly, quietly, over time, without you even realizing it. At some point, your brain stopped just interacting with people and started reading them. Not consciously at first, but gradually. You began noticing things most people ignore. The slight delay before someone answers a question. The smile that doesn't fully reach their eyes. The subtle shift in tone when something real slips through. You started picking up on patterns. What people say versus what they actually mean. What they show versus what they're trying to hide. And once you notice that gap, you don't unsee it. So your mind adapts. It sharpens. It becomes faster. More analytical. Not because you wanted it to, but because it learned to. At some point, something changed in how you see people. Maybe it was repeated disappointment. Maybe it was inconsistency. Maybe it was realizing that what people show isn't always what's real. And it didn't need to be dramatic. It could have been small, but consistent. Enough for your brain to form a rule. Don't take things at face value. So it built a system, a kind of internal scanner, always running, always checking, always analyzing, always comparing what's said to what's actually meant. And over time, that system got good, too good. Because you didn't become fake. You became precise. You became aware in a way most people aren't. And that awareness changed how you move through every interaction. You stopped reacting naturally and started adjusting intelligently. You stopped expressing freely and started calculating what fits. And that's where everything begins to shift. Because the same system that helps you navigate people slowly starts disconnecting you from yourself, and you don't feel it immediately. At first, it just feels like awareness, like clarity. Like you're finally seeing things as they really are. But that clarity comes with a cost, and you only start to feel it later. At first, it just feels like awareness, like you're finally seeing people clearly, like you figured something out that others haven't. But over time, that awareness starts to change how you experience everything. Conversations begin to feel different, not because people changed, but because you did. Small talk starts to feel empty, not because you think you're better than it, but because you can see through it. You hear the patterns, the repeated phrases, the automatic responses. It all starts to feel scripted, like people aren't really expressing themselves. They're performing. And without realizing it, you start doing the same, but in a different way. Because now, you're not just in the interaction anymore. You're analyzing it. Every word gets filtered. Every reaction gets measured. Every silence gets interpreted. Nothing is just natural anymore. And that's where something subtle breaks, because connection depends on presence. But you're not fully present anymore. You're observing, calculating, adjusting in real time. You're watching yourself as you speak, modifying your tone mid-sentence, shifting your energy depending on who's in front of you. You're not expressing yourself, you're managing yourself. And the more you do this, the harder it becomes to know what's actually real. Because you adapt so much, you lose track of what's consistent. Around one person, you're one version. Around another, you shift again. Different tone, different reactions, different level of openness. And none of it feels fully wrong, but none of it feels fully you either. So you start questioning it. Which one is me? And there's no clear answer. Because over time, you didn't just adjust your behavior, you fragmented your identity. There's no stable center anymore, just versions. And maintaining those versions is exhausting. Because now, being yourself doesn't feel natural. It feels like effort. Every interaction requires energy, attention, control, and eventually, you get tired. Not of people, but of performing, of constantly adapting, of constantly filtering. of constantly being aware of yourself. So without even deciding to, you start pulling back. You speak less. You share less. You open up less. Not because you don't care, but because it's too much. Too much to keep adjusting, too much to keep analyzing, too much to keep managing who you are in every moment. So distance becomes easier, not comfort, not peace, just less effort. But here's the part that hits the hardest. The more aware you become of people, the less you feel connected to them. The more you understand their patterns, their behaviors, their inconsistencies, the less real everything starts to feel. And at the same time, the less real you start to feel too. Because you're no longer just living, you're interpreting everything, including yourself. And without realizing it, you fall into a loop. You see too much, so you adapt. You adapt, so you stop feeling like yourself. You stop feeling like yourself, so you pull away. And because you pull away, you confirm the feeling that something is off, so the cycle continues. And somewhere in the middle of all that, a quiet realization starts to form. You didn't lose yourself all at once. You slowly replaced yourself. At some point, you start thinking this is the problem, the distance, the disconnection, the feeling that something about you isn't real anymore. But that's not where it started. Feeling fake isn't the problem. It's the result, a consequence of something deeper that already happened. Because what really changed wasn't your ability to connect. It was your ability to see. You became more aware, more precise, more sensitive to what's real and what isn't. And that awareness gave you clarity, but it also took something from you. Because now, your mind doesn't allow blind presence anymore. It doesn't let you just be. It scans, it evaluates, it adjusts. And without noticing, it prioritizes safety over authenticity. So you didn't become fake, you became adaptive. And that's where the trap forms. Because now, you can't go back to not seeing. You can't unlearn what you've noticed. You can't ignore what feels off. You can't stop analyzing what used to feel natural, but at the same time, you can't fully be yourself either, because your mind won't let you drop the filter, so you end up stuck in between. Not fully fake, but not fully real. Not disconnected, but never fully present. And that's why being around people doesn't feel natural anymore. Not because something is wrong with you, but because something changed in how you experience everything. And now, you're navigating a world built on surface-level interactions, with a mind that sees straight through them. So where does that leave you? Right here, aware, observing, understanding more than you want to, and still feeling like there's something missing. But here's the truth most people never realize. You didn't lose connection. You lost illusion. And illusion is what makes everything feel effortless. Without it, everything becomes heavier, more real, more complex, more exhausting. So if this made something click for you, something you couldn't quite explain before, subscribe, because this channel is for people who see what others don't. And if you've been feeling like this for a while, just know you're not the only one. Welcome to the space where you don't feel fake anymore. You finally understand why.